Hey guys, happy new year and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's tutorial. And in today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you guys how I made this outfit using dollface material. So if this is what you will be interested in, let's just get right into the video. So first of all, we're going to start by ruling our shoulder line. This serves as our starting line. It is our material shoulder. So from the shoulder, we're going to mark our shoulder to our bust point, from our shoulder to our under bust, from our shoulder to our waist line. So now from the waistline, the gown does not have joining, which is half cut, and the down part are actually made it together. So from the waist, for taller people, you're just going to count by 9 inches down, so it will be equal to your hip measurement, and then you're just going to add 3 inches to it. 1 inches is going to go for the joining of the pink part. Whichever length you want to make it is completely fine. But once you mark your waist measurements, you're just going to, for taller people, you're just going to go down by 9. For shorter people, you can just go down by 8, and very tall people, you can as well go down by 10. So the next thing we're going to do is to mark our shoulder measurement. Our shoulder is 7, so we're just going to mark 7.5. Half is going to go for joining of our sleeve, and of course 3 inches for our neck width. So from our bust point, we're going to come up by 2 inches, which is going to serve as our chest line. I'm making all these lines so we'll have our perfect guide. So from there, I'm still going to mark I took my bust measurement divided by 4, and I'm still going to mark the shoulder measurement there. So I'm going to have a straight line. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to step down by half inches, or rather 1 inches. I'm going to, on the shoulder, I'm going to step down by 1 inches. You know that our shoulder is slant and not straight, so I'm going to step down, and I'm just going to connect from the bust measurement, or rather the chest measurement, which I imputed my bust measurement divided by 4. So I'm just going to make a curve, which is the armhole curve, all the way down to that part, just like so. So I'm just trying to make my line visible, and the parts that actually, I think they took light at this point, so I'm just trying to make it visible, and I hope you see it. So the part I stepped down by 1, I'm just going to connect to my neck. I hope it's clear at that point. So from the chest line, I'm just going to take my bust measurement plus 2 inch sewing allowance, whichever allowance that works for you, it's completely fine. By waist measurement plus 1.5, I actually removed half inches around the waist, so it will be tighter around the waist, and then a bit freer around the hip. So at the hip measurements, I'm going to take my hip measurement plus 2 inch sewing allowance. I'm sorry, the full part of the blouse is not showing, but that's exactly what I actually did there. So I'm just going to connect all of this together, just like so. At the end of the gown, actually made it like an A cut. Like I took it down, just as let's say we're making an A cut dress or so. I just did it like that. So you know that our neck is V, so I actually came up by 1.5 inches, but later I actually, I think I stepped down to exactly where my chest is. So whichever way that you want your cleavage to be exposed or closed, at this point you're just going to decide whichever way you want it to be. So we're just going to cut out, and completely that's everything for the front part of this dress. So like I said, on the table you'll be looking at it like it's very short. So yes, this orange part is actually short, but by the time you add the pleated part on it, it will actually give the dress a length. So if you make this orange part to be very long, you see that your dress will be very long, except you want it to be long. But if you want it to be skimpy, just as mine, it's completely not skimpy. But if you want it to be like that, you can just do exactly what I did. So for the back, we're just going to place the front on the back just like so. It's really nothing that serious around the back, just little touch here and there. So you can see the space I actually gave, that's 2 inch for our zipper. But there's something we're going to do around the waist part. We're just going to come in by half inch. Let's just say it's removing half inch from it to create it that. So by the time we impute or we fix our zip, by the time you fix your zip, that part is not going to bulge out. It will just go in smooth, like it will be flat. So we're just going to take out rather half inches from the back. That's just the difference between the front and the back. So we're just placing the front on the back, and we're just cutting it out just like so. Like I said, the back is really nothing that serious, and I actually did the same v neck that is in front for the back too. So the only difference is for the back, our bust point my bust point actually from my shoulder to my bust point is 11 inches. So around the back, I started the v curve from the 11 inch, so it will not be too high. That's just the difference. So you can just see me cutting out the half inch, and then I was just trying to measure where the bust point is, so I'll know where to start my V at the back, so the back will be open and not closed. You can see me doing the shoulder and every other thing together. So you can see this is the half inches that we removed. You can see how it is. So by the time you put your zipper, it will lap very well, and it won't start bulging out. So that's just the difference between the front and the back. So now this is the doll face that I use. This actually I got 2 yards. So for the hand, I made a very big balloon hand. That's how I wanted mine to be. So whichever way that you want yours to be, it's completely fine. So the width, I used 17 inches, and I used the full length of the doll face. So it just is straight cutting with elastic in it, nothing serious. Like I said, that's just all I did for the hand. So now you can see it's folded to two, so it's the two hands. So I'm just going to rip that off. So that's just it for the hand. Open the sides and open the edges together. So whichever hand that works. So if you want yours to be small, it's fine. If you want yours to be very big also, it's completely fine. Like I said, it's the two hands together, so we're just going to open this other part that is closed. For people who do not like very big hand, exaggerated hands, like, oh, see me here, see me, and all of that, you can make it to be small. So the remaining part of this doll face, I folded it into two, and I got into four, and I got 14 inches, because the pink part around the pleated parts, which is the pink part down, you can see it's very full. So if you make it, I'm of a big size, I'm a size 12, so I feel like if it's too scanty, I'm not going to see the fitting. So I actually used all of it which was left. So it was an intentional act, because I want it to be full. Like, it's not a constant thing that you have to make yours very full or not. If you want to make it full, it's fine. If you don't want to make it full too, it's it's completely fine, whichever way you want it to be. So I'm just going to take all of this out. Like I said, it's folded into four, so you can see this is first, second, third, and fourth. So all we're going to do there is just to fold the both edges. That's just all we're going to do. So now this is the front part. So you're just going to turn, either you want to turn with your bias, but I actually use the material, and I made mine bold. So whichever way that works for you. So the next thing we're going to do is to impute our dart. Like I said, previously, that I actually stepped down again. So that's what I was actually doing at this point. So now the next thing we're going to do is to impute our dart. Remember, that's why we took this marks point, so we don't get confused. So now our shoulder to our bust point, around that part, we're just going to step down by 1 inch or 1.5, whichever that works for you. And my nipple to nipple is 4 inches. So plus half inch, it's 4.5. So we're just going to take that down. So that's the that. And from the waist down, we're just going to come down by 3.5. That's why you can see that the that is long. To get the shortcut of what I'm doing, you can just open and take your tape. If your nipple to nipple is 4 inches, that's 8. So you can just widen it to make it 8. So I actually marked 4 all over here again. But if this is stressful, you can just do it the way I said. And you can just go down to take the down. That from your waist, you can just come down by 3.5 or 4 inches. It's completely fine. So that's the that from under the bust, or let's say 1 inch below the bust down to the waist. So that's how you're going to take the that. I forgot to record for the back. So you're just going to take the back, because we have 2 inches for zip, so it's going to be 6 at the back, and everything is the same. So I went ahead to turn with the material. You can see how it is, and I've ironed it. So we're just going to join. This is just our normal joining, shoulder together, body together. It's really nothing serious at this point. You're just going to pin. You take your bust measurement. You're going to arrange all the edges together, shoulder together, and at this point you're going to see one or two excesses. Should in case the back um ample is not as wide as the front ample, this is where you're just going to make all your adjustments. So we're just going to take our body measurements, our bust measurements. You can just remove half inches. This does not have a lining in it. It just is simple, ready to wear dress, something you can just wear quickly. So if your bust is 40 and you're to use 20, you can just mark 19.5, so you can have just this little lapping here and there. And if you don't want it to lap you too, it's completely fine. You can make it open. So like I said, the pink part, all we need to do is to fold the up and the down, and basically that just it for that. So the next thing we're going to do for the pink, you can see around the stitches there are some little pleating or little gathers here and there. Like from here I did pleating. You can just pleat, or you can gather it, like whichever way that works for you. You can start your gathering from um let's say from the top to 2 inch or 2.5 inch. If you want it to be very bold, it's fine. If you don't want it to be that bold too, it's completely fine. So you can see what I'm doing. It just really not that difficult. Just take your time and you play together, and that's just it. So now at this point, I've gone ahead to add my sleeve, because like I said, it's balloon hand, so I felt there was no need to show that part. So the next thing I did was around the joining of the sides. I saw some excesses due to hip measurement that we took. We get all of this. So you're just going to place your sides together, and you just trim off just like so. So your sides and your center front and back will be equal. So you're just going to trim out just little, so every part will be equal. Not when you add your ruffles to it, or your pleated part to it, and you see one side longer than the other side. So you're just going to cut out just like so. So everywhere will be equal before you attach. Like I said, this I just this does not have lining, nothing. It just a simple ready to wear dress. So you go ahead and make little stitch before adding. You close the back, then before you add your little prints underneath. You can see how it's looking at this point. It's looking very fine and beautiful. So now this is how it look. You can see everywhere is equal. So this is the pleating that I told you guys about. So you can see how it is. I added all the four that I joined together, and you can go ahead and take the measurement of the round circumference of the down part of your dress, so you know exactly the length you're pleating or not, or you can pleat directly on it. But I actually did the pleating separate, and I just sewed directly on it. So you can see how it is. You just stitch on top, and basically that's just it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now, and happy new year.